I want to talk with you about meeting my parents tomorrow before the wedding. My dad is a pretty strict man, and he has a pretty thick skull when it comes to anything that he doesn't see as proper. I feel as though he might say some pretty rude things to you tomorrow, Luke. But, of course, you don't have to worry too much. I'm sure things will go just fine. Just know that he'll be asking about money and work and all that, so maybe think of some things to say to him just so that you're ready.
It's all right. I understand. He's giving away his important daughter to another man that he's never met in person before, and that can be pretty stressful for him. And I'm sure he doesn't want you with someone he can't trust, so he needs to make sure I have a job that can support us, and the heart to care for you no matter what.
Well, don't think it'll be all that bad, okay? Just make sure that you're prepared for him to give you a hard time. He's just a really stubborn man, and it worries me a little. But deep down, once he's gotten to know you well, he's like a teddy bear.
You don't have to say that. He has a beautiful daughter, and so he has to become stubborn to protect you from all the men that have their eyes on you. And besides, Jenna, your dad is a business owner, right? So he's always been having to stay strict and tough while making sure his company does well.
Well, I think that you're the perfect man for me and can impress my dad, hence me finally showing you to him. But if my dad can just see how much you love me and want to protect me, that'd be enough, I think. Anything else should be fine after that.
I'll do my best.
Also, even though we're meeting tomorrow, he wants to talk with you before that.
Huh? Before we all get together? So he does want to meet today, then?
Yes. I think he just wants to introduce himself now so that you guys can get right to talking when we all meet. That's why I'd like to tell him your contact information right now. Is that okay?
You can, but...
If he says anything weird to you, you can just ignore him, okay? Alright, I'll tell him right now.
Alright then. I am Jenna's father, Frank. I'm looking forward to seeing you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys as well. My name is Luke Graves. You should know that I run my own business, right? Yes, I sure do. Of course you do. That must mean you're after my money, correct? I am not at all in this for your money. I have plenty of money myself, so there are no problems there. And the reason that I'm with your daughter is because I plan to love her forever. I can understand that you'd be worried about me, but if you would be kind enough to just take my word for it, then everything would be okay. What's your occupation? You don't seem to be anything like a doctor or a lawyer. That's right, I'm not. But the work I do is very generous to me, so you have nothing to worry about. Are you not going to tell me exactly what you do for a job? Does that mean that the work you do is that repulsive? Not at all, sir. I'd just be more comfortable telling you about my line of work when we meet in person. I'd be able to explain in much more detail everything related to the work I do. And so, I ask that you please wait to hear from me tomorrow. Well, I won't get my hopes up for you. And I will not allow my daughter to marry anyone that's less than middle class. I have a company of my own in my possession, so I can find someone more apt to marry her for me. I just want to say, Jenna has already chosen me to be her husband. And so, seeing you and your wife tomorrow is to show my love and care for her. So I'd be very grateful if you could find it in yourself to trust your daughter's decision. It must take quite a lot of courage for a young man like yourself to talk to me that way. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Well then, I'll be preparing myself for tomorrow. I don't want you anywhere near my daughter ever again! You're not allowed to even come close to her ever again in your life, Luke! Do you not even understand what you've just done to me? What you just committed was a crime! A crime, huh? And why do you think that? I was over there to meet you and your wife today before your daughter and I get married, and you chose to hit me in the face with your ashtray! How couldn't that be a crime? I didn't just do it for no reason. You work for the city's public transportation, and that's why I made a clear choice to smack you upside the head with that ashtray. That was my way of protecting my family from thieves like you. I'm sure you understand what it means to protect your family and all, but I was just making sure that my daughter was well protected from a fraud. Protected her? What did I do that was threatening her? A lower-class public transportation worker was trying to take my daughter from me. I never once said that I'd allow my daughter to join someone that low in our society. I have a company to manage and keep, but having someone of your likes in the family would tear it down. I will no longer let you around her, so things are finished here. Now get lost. You understand that I can't just get lost now, right? Excuse me? No matter how much you try and fight me, it'll be no use. I will never allow my daughter to become lower class. Well, if you plan to use that as your only excuse, then you'll be breaking apart our engagement. You'll regret that, Frank. Regret it? You're the one that'll be regretting anything here. I'll make sure that you're full of regrets. If you just thought about all of this, you'd understand why, right? You're a simple transportation worker, and you'll never be able to get your hands on Jenna. If me hitting you in the head with that ashtray has opened your eyes to that, then go away. Then this engagement to your daughter is over. Go away, you low-life scum! And would you please let Jenna know that we're through as well for me? I'm not some public transportation worker. But if that's what you want to continue thinking, then go ahead. Huh? What are you implying here? I can see that explaining myself any further will do me no good, so I'm finished with what I've said. The next time we talk, we'll be in the courtroom. Courtroom? What you just did to me today was assault. I'll have you in court for assaulting me, so prepare yourself, Frank. You think you can sue me with what little money you have? I own a company, Luke! I have a bunch of lawyers at my disposal, so there's nothing you can do to me! Taking me to court will only waste what little money you have left. But let's think for a second. Do you even have the money to afford a lawyer of your own? I'm not sure what your reason is for belittling me this much, but I'm not some public transportation worker. I just gave you a simple explanation of my work, and you came to that incorrect conclusion yourself. I work for the Transportation Bureau for this city. Huh? The Transportation Bureau? I'm sure me saying that is a bit too vague for you, but the work I do is a lot more significant than you have come to think. I have to work with plenty of politicians as well regarding my work. Huh? Politicians? Without having to get too far into detail regarding the exact details, hearing that I work with the government has you pretty excited now, right? But I suppose that happened after all you did to me today. You hitting me in the face with that ashtray will become quite the problem for you here soon. Hold on one second, Luke. What kind of joke is this? Why would the Transportation Bureau be working with politicians? That couldn't be! Stop playing games with me! Well, if you want to continue to believe that I'm joking with you, that's on you. I have a lot of things that I'll need to attend to now, so I must go. If you're still wondering which of us two will be regretting today, I'll help you find the answer. Did something happen with you? Luke, this doesn't have something to do with you, does it? What are you talking about? There has been some pressure coming from somewhere, and it is causing my company to go under. And because of that, my company wants to change its CEO. If things keep up like this, then I'm going to be forced out of the company. What the hell is going on here, Luke? Are you saying this is all due to me hitting you earlier? Well, I wonder about that one, Frank. Excuse me? Tell me right now, you little jerk! I'm asking you a very serious question right now. Even if you're taking things serious now, you're far too late. You did in fact hit me in the face with an ashtray, right? I ended up calling some people I know about that, and they transferred me to people that could really help. Do you now understand the severity of what you've done to me? Even if I do understand now, I'm in hot water! Did you tell my daughter about this as well? Right now, she's furious with me for hitting you in the head with that plastic ashtray! Are you wondering why she might be upset with you? You don't have to have any more doubts about it. She's shocked about what you ended up doing and has no faith left in you. She told me that if I can't fix things, she never wants to see me again. Why? She's never acted this way before to me. She's told me that she's not only pissed, but wants to leave you forever. And she has a right to. You hit her fiancé in the face with a literal ashtray. I had to go to the hospital to get help after that. So if you're going to start crying to me to make things better for you, you're already too late, as I've turned in a report of you assaulting me. Huh? A report on me? That's nothing other than a joke! I told you I've had enough of your jokes, Luke! Stop that bullcrap now! I'd never let you report me for Jack! If that actually happened, then I'd really lose everything to do with my company. And that wouldn't only just affect me in the end, but my wife and my daughter as well! Come on now. Even though you want to keep denying the truth, it's already in motion due to your behaviors earlier. So really, no matter what you try and say to me now, your time has come. My time has come? There's just no way! I'm apologizing to you right now so you can put all your games to an end now! Do you really think I care for your apologies now, after you wasted so much time complaining to me? You not only hurt me physically with a literal piece of dirty plastic, but when I got to the hospital and told the police how I got my injuries, they helped me write up that report. But hold on! All I did was get up in arms a little bit too quickly, and that's a good enough reason to involve the police? With how sharp and hard that ashtray was, if you'd hit me in the right place, you could have seriously injured me. Do you understand that? You put all your strength into that blow, and it messed me up bad. Thank God I have a thick skull on me. Please, if you keep this up, I'm going to lose my family as well! At least stop yourself from keeping the police involved! Both your wife and daughter are already fed up with you now, so there's no getting around them leaving you. Huh? Your family already understands that they can't stay near you, and so there is little you can do to stop them. So even if I don't keep the police involved, things will not change. Understand that maybe it is time you take this all upon yourself and be responsible for your actions. Is there anything else you'd like to say to me now? I get it. I'll let you marry my daughter. I'll let you marry my daughter and take her from me. But if you leave things as they are, I'll be screwed. If you can't take my word and marry my daughter now, then what else am I supposed to do for you? Jenna and I are already married, Frank. Huh? But you're not going to be a part of the family. Well, if you're already married to my daughter, then why are you doing all of this? Why do you keep coming at me? I'm not coming at you whatsoever, Frank. Jenna herself is already well into her adult life, and so, if she says she's wanting to marry me, then it's decided. But of course, if you'd just been a bit strict with me and said no, I might have tried a bit harder to gain your trust. However, instead, you chose to be violent and hit me on the head. And so, now your family can no longer trust you, nor feel safe around you. This is all because of your inability to act as a respectable man yourself. And so now, I have to defend myself and my wife from you. Don't you feel like you're taking this too far, though? I want to make sure that you understand what you've done and regret it. And I will not stop until that day has come for you. You're already too late to stop me now, so just give up on trying anything. So now, how do you feel about talking to the police? The police? So then you were serious about that? What is your goal? And I mean your real goal! Do you want my money or something? How much of it? I'll get it for you, so just tell me however much you want! That's it right there, Frank. Huh? What? I do not need your money. And I've said that already before, right? I am not in any way financially struggling, so don't act as though I want anything of yours. Yet all you keep thinking about is money. That's why this has happened. You thought that I wanted to marry your daughter for your money, But that was just not the case. And even if it was, that's no excuse to hit me with an ashtray. Shouldn't this all be something you knew before you had a family? I understand that now. You don't understand. And that's why this is still going on. You just asked me how much of your money I wanted because you still think that's what all this is about. You should learn from all of this, that not everyone on this planet is worried about money like you. Well, it doesn't matter if you learn or not now. I've already got the police involved, and I have the injuries to prove you assaulted me. I'll pay for you to get treated! Please! I'm Jenna's father, Luke! I know that. And that's why you decided to hit me, right? Now, I'll be going. Wait a second! Forgive me, right now! And as a final note, you have your answer. You're the one that's going to be regretting all of this. And after that, the police went and took Frank into custody, which to everyone's surprise was easy considering the fact that he was so angry. They then took him to the police station and questioned him to learn everything they could about the report that was filed. And luckily enough, he confirmed it was all true and made things much easier for me. He was also moved out of his position as the CEO within the company, as they knew from me what was going on. And after being taken out of the position, he was offered no package and was fired for going against company policy. And that was by him being a criminal. He also lost all his family and is pretty much in ruin now as he tries to comprehend why this all happened so fast. His wife was out of their house almost immediately after seeing the police take him, and she herself has a lawyer that's working on the divorce. And Jenna stayed to tell him that she no longer wanted him in her life. But then after her final words, she was out of the house as well. During that time, I was working with my lawyer to make sure that I did in fact get money from him after what he had done to me. But as I said before, I was in no real need for his money. And so, after going through court and me winning the case, he gave me $15,000 to pay for both my time in the hospital and for the trouble caused. I took that money thereafter and used it for Jenna's and my wedding, and viewed that money as a present from her dad to help support our marriage. Of course, I did put some of that money into the medical expenses, as I did have to get a lot of tests done to make sure that my brain was okay, as well as having to get stitches for the gash on my head. There was also a small fracture to my skull that I needed to keep an eye on, and that alone goes to show just how hard he hit me with that ashtray. Also, since Jenna has been married to me even before leaving her dad, she didn't have to worry about where to go next after leaving the house, and so she came to my house to live, and never has to worry about her dad again. Ever since he lost everything, not much is known about where he went, but I'm sure wherever that may be, he's trying his best to get back on top. But of course, that'll be impossible.
Ashley, this is about Liam, the guy you brought over the other day. Do you really plan on marrying a man like him out of everyone else? What? Well, he and I have already talked about wanting to get married, and I explained the same thing to you all. Remember how when I said I was bringing him over to the house, I said that this would be because he and I plan on marrying? I know that. I wasn't questioning that. But you haven't heard anything from him yet about how he's not interested in you, or you in him, leading to you guys no longer being engaged? Huh? Well, he might not want to really get married to you is all now. Would you please not talk about things like that when he and I are getting closer to our wedding? I was so happy to finally find a man that understands me the way I want to be understood. And you're going to talk about our relationship like that? And by the way, he would never just leave me for another woman like that at this time. I know. When both your dad and I met with him, we could tell he wasn't that kind of man. I'm not trying to talk badly about him or your guys' relationship, especially when he seems like a really decent man. Well, that better be the case. Then tell me, why are you asking questions like that, making it seem as though we would ever be calling off the engagement? Well, about all that. Ashley, I would like you to give Liam to Raina. Huh? Don't say huh to me like you can't hear or something. I really feel as though Raina and Liam would be a far better couple. That's why I'm wanting you to end your engagement with him right now, and then let Raina have him instead. Wait. We had a family meeting, and in that meeting we decided that Liam would be getting married to Raina, so you have no other option now. So starting today, Liam is Raina's fiancé. What the heck are you saying? I think your cute little sister is a far better match for someone like Liam, and I want them to get married. You are her older sister, and you want what's best for her, right? So you give Liam to her right now. Do you think Liam's going to be okay with something as ridiculous as this? Oh, well, I've never heard of there being a man on this planet who doesn't want to marry Raina. I mean, she's said to be the #1 most beautiful woman in this part of the state, right? In other words, this means he has no reason to stay with you over her. I have no idea what's gotten into you, Mom. No matter what you try and do, this marriage between Liam and Raina is going to happen. It's already been decided on. I'm going to talk with Liam right now about how I want him to leave you, so please do not get in the way of your little sister's love. And from now on, you are no longer to meet with Liam. Understand? Liam, has anyone from my family begun talking to you about anything yet? Anything that would really make you feel awkward about them?
Ah, Ashley, I was just about to text you asking about it.
So this means... so my mom has started to talk to you then?
Yeah, I was just getting a boatload of texts from your mom, and they're all so, well, let's just say I never knew someone out of your family could act that way. She wants me to start going out with your little sister. I didn't know how to respond back to her text after she said all that to me, so I was planning on asking you about it first.
She just started with that?
I'm not blaming any of this on your Ashley, but this was all a little... I just don't know what to think about your parents now. Especially your mom.
I see. I guess she did end up getting your phone number back when you came over to their house the other day. I'm sorry, Liam. I was hoping I could warn you in some way before she got to you. Her and I were just texting one another about it, and she told me she was going to tell you about it. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize for that.
Huh?
I told you that you're not to blame for this. And the only reason I was comfortable with giving your mom my number at the time is in case we ever needed to talk to one another about our marriage or the wedding. Had I known this would come from her, I would never have gave her my real number.
Just in case you need to talk to her?
Actually, when I came over to your house that day, your mom said to me that you had a cute little sister and that I should be marrying her instead of you. And then she told me that she'd get you to leave me so I could have my chance with her. And well, at the time, I thought she was just joking and wanted my number for when we got closer to the wedding and all that. But today, I realised that I was totally wrong about her, and she wasn't kidding. She actually thinks that I'd be willing to just leave you and go to your little sister instead. I've never even met your little sister in person, let alone talk to her. What if she's not even close to the type of woman I want to be with?
I see.
This is all just... Well, I never thought this could get so far out of hand. She didn't seem serious at the time, but now I realise that she has me in her trap. I guess I never had a fiancé before, and I've never gone to meet my fiancé's parents before talking about marriage, so I assumed something like that was a joke to lighten the mood. I would have never imagined she was being serious about it. What a way to change my views on life, when you and I are this close to being husband and wife.
I'm sorry.
You do not have to apologise to me, alright? I feel like I could just tell your mom no to all that right now, but for some reason I'm getting this feeling that a simple no won't be enough to stop her.
Yeah, you are totally right about that. When my little sister asks for something, or it's something my mom wants for her, there is nothing that'll stop them from getting it.
Seriously?
For the time being, you should just go find somewhere to hide.
find somewhere to hide.
I'm sure that they'll be able to look up the address you live at, so you might want to find a place to lay low for a bit. They already know my address as well, so you might need to go find a friend or something to ask.
Then let me go ask one of my cousins if they'll let me stay at their place for a week or two.
Are you planning to ask your cousin from the next town over, who's in college now?
That's the one. I work freelance after all, so there's no need for me to worry about commuting to work or anything. And I'm sure I can give a good reason as to why I want to go stay with them for a while. And I don't think your mom or sister will ever be able to find me there.
That's true.
Alright, I'm going to ask right away. Right. I'm almost done with my lease at my current apartment, so we could probably start moving my things out of it to prepare for the move.
That'll require a lot more work, though.
Don't worry about it. When I've got things handled, I'll get back in touch with you.
All right, be careful, okay? Ashley, I can see that you actually went through with the plan and broke up with Liam. I'm very happy that you listened to me. You have finally become the kind and thoughtful older sister Raina deserves to have. What? What are you talking about? I have not broken up with Liam yet. Huh? No way. You're still going on about how you want him to be your husband? Oh my god. There is something seriously wrong with you, isn't there? What are you doing? I'm not going to let you get away with stealing your little sister's happiness from her. Wait, what are you talking about, Mom? Like, really? They haven't even met one another in person yet, so how would she know if she really likes him or not? Remember? That time when I brought Liam over to see you and Dad, Raina was out of the house and she never came home to see him. I know, and their time to meet one another will come soon, but I know that when they meet, there will be no problems and things will continue on smoothly. What? Continue smoothly? Or are they actually going to meet? Back when Liam came over to our house with you, and after that, while he was walking home, your dad tailed him to find out where he's living. Huh? So I've had Raina go over there today, and she's going to meet with him right now. Are you joking? You had Dad stalk him like that? Well, you were never telling us where his address was then. We have to know what part of town he's in, considering he's going to be dating our little girl soon. What the heck? You guys are all messed up. Jeez, I'm glad I went ahead and messaged you today on a whim. Well, no matter what you have to say about it now, you're too late. I sent Raina over to his place, and I'm having her live with him now. She's living with him? I didn't want you thinking this was going on just yet, so I lied about her not meeting with him, but in reality, she's been over there for 3 days now. I can't believe things went so well for her that she's already being allowed to stay in his home. Is that right? That's right. All right, then. I get it now. So you guys are no longer going to need $2,000 a month from me, right? Huh? $2,000? What's that all about? Oh, you didn't forget about that, did you? 7 years ago, the company that Dad had been working for went bankrupt, and it took him a while to find himself another job thereafter. But that new job happened to pay him a lot less than what he was making before, so you guys asked me to start sending you both $2,000 a month. What? You've still been doing that for us? Well, you guys never told me to stop that, so I've just kept on sending you guys the money. All right? To be honest, I thought that $2,000 was a lot to be giving you guys each month, but back then you had Raina going to college, and she also had a lot of costs that needed to be paid for as well, right? And since I'm making a decent amount of money myself, I thought it'd be fine to send that kind of money to you all, as it was for the family. But now that you are having your younger daughter leave the house and she'll be cared for by her soon-to-be husband, that must mean that you and Dad don't need my money anymore. Dad should be making pretty decent money by this point, so I see no need to send you the $2,000 each month anymore. So in other words, there is no point in me sending you a monthly allowance. Right? Wait a second. Wait, we can go get Raina back right now. Huh? And you no longer have to leave Liam for us. So actually, can you please keep sending us that 2,000 every month? What? I'm going to talk with Raina right now, so please keep that money coming to us. Liam, you going to your cousin's place and moving out of your apartment was a perfect move.
Huh? Did something happen then?
Apparently my dad followed you home after you came over to visit my parents that one time, and he found out where you were living.
Like he stalked me?
And, well, later on they had Raina go to that apartment to go and see you.
What the... That's terrifying.
And, well, my mom told me that Raina and you have started living with one another.
Huh? I'm not living with her at all, though.
Yeah, I know that. But if my mom thinks she's out living with you, then where is Raina gone? And what?
What's wrong? Do you have an idea?
I just got a notification saying that Raina tried calling me. It's rare for her to ever call me like that. And whenever I try talking to her, she never answers.
I'm sure it has to do with what's been going on here, so try calling her back.
I'll do that, I guess. Here we go. Ashley! We have no idea what happened to Raina or where she went! Do you have any idea? What? And also, Liam wasn't over at that apartment either. I thought that she was living in that place with Liam this whole time. Did they both run away from me? Well, you're half correct. What? But she's not with Liam right now. What? What do you mean by that? I heard about it from Raina herself. You knew that Raina had a boyfriend this whole time, right? Her boyfriend happens to work as a contractor, so you assumed that he wasn't making all too much money. So you tried to get in the way of those two and find a way to get them to break up so that you could have her go out with Liam. Well, that's... because if she had to marry some dirty contractor who's barely making any money, I'd feel so bad for her. And that's why you wanted her going out with my fiancé? I'm not going to let her go out with some nasty-looking hick from who knows where when Liam is a far better man. Well, listen to this, Mom. I happen to know where he's working as a contractor. The place happens to be known throughout the state as one of the best places to work with very good pay and benefits. What? And the CEO happens to be liked by pretty much all his workers. Of course, doing the work all of the workers have to do is hard on their bodies, but he makes sure everyone has good health insurance and that they get enough PTO each year to take time to relax themselves. I think that he's actually working for a really, really good company right now. But in your case, you never bothered to look up the company he's at and just chose to think he was poor. I never thought there'd be a company like that, though, for contractors. Had you just listened to Raina, you might have understood things better. But it's too late for that now. Too late? About Raina. When you told her to go to Liam's place and stay with him, she took that opportunity and ran back to her boyfriend's house and has been staying there. She ran to his place? They happen to be getting married now, too. Why do you know all of this stuff? Well, because yesterday I got a call from her and we spent all night talking with one another about what's been going on. I'm sure that you and Dad tried your best to get her to have the life you wanted her to have, and I was jealous at times about how much you cared about her, but not me. However, now I feel as though neither Raina or I was ever really cared for by you or Dad. And, well, last night I was finally able to hear about Raina's feelings as well. Ashley, about that $2,000, will you... Wait, are you serious? Now, of all times? Well, look, your dad's income hasn't really gone up at all since he was first hired, and, the cost of living here. It's just the two of you now, so you should be more than capable of living there with Dad's income. But wait, You're not working at all, right? Me? Why are you surprised? This is your time to be a good wife and find yourself a job, right? As for Raina and I, we have both found ourselves amazing men to make our husbands. That means we are no longer going to be letting you into our lives, causing us all kinds of trouble. All right. A few days after that, my mom and dad got a divorce. My dad wasn't making a whole lot of money with his current job, and my mom didn't like that about him. But when he brought up the idea that she could get a job as well, she flipped out. Anyway, the way I found out that those two would be getting a divorce was right after I told them about how Raina and I would both be getting married. My mom apologized to me then and said she'd be leaving my dad for good. You might think that after this, my whole family fell apart, but right after my mom told us about the divorce, my dad, sister, and I started a group chat where we keep one another up to date on our lives. Now that Raina's married, she's asked us to come to her wedding in the next couple of months. And even said that Liam was invited too, so that means she can see him for the first time. But I had to make sure she knew not to have that wedding around my wedding because Liam and I are set to be wed in the next month. And just today we went to the courthouse and handed in our marriage forms. When it comes to my dad, he no longer has to support another adult on his income. And as a single man, he's actually making enough to support himself comfortably. He told us he plans on selling the house soon and using that money to move into a smaller house where he won't have to clean as much of it. As for my mom herself, she didn't have any parents to go back to, and all of her brothers and sisters lived too far away and weren't that close to her to begin with. Out of all the stages in her life, she's learning how hard it is to live on your own in her late 60s. She has a job of her own now, but it's only enough to afford her a one-bedroom apartment and a little bit of food each week. And since she's now living life like the poor, she spends all day and night in her room, crying and crying and crying.